Hi, welcome back to Studio NPL. I'm Rebecca Stone, one of your Studio NPL mentors. And last time I asked you to send me some footage to show off your skills and some of the things you're doing while you're kind of stuck at home right now. And I've been having a great time reviewing that footage. Thank you for sending some, and I hope you'll keep sending me some more. But I'm going to kick off this series with Amelie, who sent us some footage from Toronto, Canada. She's making some delicious cookies. So Amelie, let's see how this is done right. Thanks, Amelie. Those cookies are amazing, and I know because I made some using your recipe, and I appreciate it. Now, Amelie did send us a fully edited video. She did the filming on her camera, and she edited and sent it in to me. So I appreciate that, but guess what? You don't have to do that. If you just have footage and no way to edit, send me the footage, and I will edit it for you. No problem. Or if you don't have a camera you can use your cell phone. Anything you have, it will work. And we'll have a good time learning a new skill that you could teach us how to do. Because we want to learn from you for a while, okay? So go ahead and send your footage to studionplnashville@gmail.com. That's studionplnashville@gmail.com. Send me your fully produced videos or just send me the footage. Either way, and we'll see what we can learn next on Studio NPL. Oh. Are we done? Because I really want to eat one of these cookies. All right, good. They really are good.
Hey guys, this is Rhett McDonald, your Teen Center music mentor, and I'm going to talk to you about the 7 cowboy chords to play virtually any song. I'm going to keep it pretty short and sweet. I'm just going to tilt the camera down a little bit to see the guitar neck and just show you the chords. Okay, so when you're playing the key of G, you're going to start with the G chord, go to the C chord. Those are the same chord, but these are just little different inversions of them. The D chord. Those might be your most common cowboy chords. So, and in the relevance of the Nashville number system, which we'll talk about at another time, this is 1, 4, 5. So G, C, D. Also, you'll have the 2, the A. Now that's an A minor, that's an A major. You'll have your 3 chord, the B, that's a B minor, that's a B major. So we've done our 1, 4, 5, the 2, and the 3. In order, obviously, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you have your 6 chord, the E, oftentimes the E minor in this key of G. That's your E major. Then you'll have your 7, the F. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now a great resource for getting the exact fingering of these chords, because it just is a little confusing for me to sit here and show you when this is reversed, because I'm on a front-facing laptop camera. That's just really confusing. The best resource is ultimateguitar.com. It's a tablature website. It'll show you the tabs to any song that is relatively guitar driven. So it really just shows you where you put your finger on each string, how to play each one of these chords. So knock yourselves out. Those are the 7 cowboy chords to play virtually any song.
Hey guys, welcome to Tween Seed Scene, the home edition. My name is Miss Magda. I'm the teen librarian at the Bordeaux branch, and this is my house, y'all. So what are we going to do today? We're going to plant some seeds. Well, how are you going to do that? Because I've got empty toilet paper rolls. I'm sure you have a million of these by now, right? What else do we need? We need some dirt. So I prefer you to have potting soil, but you can go outside and just get dirt. Just like try to knock off as much grass as possible. We also need scissors and we need seeds. Now, normally I would tell y'all to come to the library and get your free seeds with the seed exchange, but we're closed right now and we miss you very much. The farmer's market would also be a really good place to get seeds because you can harvest it straight out of that or your CSA, but they're also closed. So this is what we're going to do. I'm sending you on a mission to the dollar store or maybe the drugstore because they also have seeds. For about $1, $3, you can get a whole batch full that'll be enough to fill an entire bed of vegetables. Also, I suggest you to get a plate, just, a plastic tray of some sort. This came from takeout, so that could be an option. Let's get started. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our perfectly normal empty toilet paper roll and we're going to squish it. So squish, squish. So that's one side. Let's flip it 90 degrees and go the other side. Bop, 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 bop. And now, because it's flat, we're going to cut it in half because we don't need all that. Now, your beautiful round roll is now a square shape. And we're going to tighten up those creases because we're going to use them as a guide to make flaps. I'm going to cut up the center here, half, 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 and half. And now we're going to fold it like closing in a box, okay? So you're going to take flap 1, flap 2, flap 3, and here's the tricky part. You're going to take flap 4 and you're going to tuck it underneath flap 1. So come on, baby, you can do it. Yes, I talk to inanimate objects. I've been in quarantine for the last month. So we're going to tighten up those edges, and boom, you have a box in which you now are going to put some dirt. So you need about 2 tablespoons or so. Don't have to be precise about it. And after you've made your mess, because you're going to make a mess, please clean it up. After all, if your parents get mad at me, they're not going to let me hang out with you anymore. And that would make me very sad. So please keep your parents happy. Next, we're going to take our seeds and we're going to see what the instructions are for the seed. Yes, it's the library. I want you to read the instructions. Plus, this lovely instructions for pumpkin counts for the summer reading challenge. So let's see what it says. Sow 2 to 3 seeds in a 2-inch pot and thin to the sturdiest seedling before transplanting into a mounded soil. And then it says also to sow the seeds about 1 inch deep. Okay, so it's going to give us a little bit more information, but that's all we need right now. Now it said to sow them in a 2-inch pot. How am I supposed to know that without a ruler? Oh wait, I have a finger. Fun fact, did you know each knuckle on your finger is about 1 inch long? So if you just need to guess at something, your finger makes a great ruler. Said our seeds need to go in a 2-inch pot. Well, look at that. It's a little bit less than 2 inches, but I think it's going to be okay. It also says to sow our seeds about 1 inch deep. So that's about right there. I'm going to stick my finger straight in there, baby. About 1 inch deep. That's where my seed's going to go. And it says we only need 2 to 3 seeds. So all these seeds that came out of here, I'm just going to grab 2 of them. Boop, boop. Because in theory, each of those seeds are going to grow up to be a plant. Now, I'm going to stick it over here with my little friend. More pumpkin seeds. And that's it for now. Until it starts getting hungry. How do you know a plant's hungry or thirsty? You put your finger in it, guys. If the dirt is dry, water it. It's only going to need a little bit at a time. That's fine. Also, when your plant starts getting to be about 3 inches tall, from here to here, boom, boom, I would transplant it. Now, you can take these things straight outside, plant them straight in the dirt, because you know what? Cardboard is not only recyclable, but it's also compostable and biodegradable. Means it can go straight in the ground and it'll be great. No problems. When they get too big for going and you don't have a place to go outside, that's okay. Just find a nice sunny window and you can transplant them into a pot of your own making that's a little bit bigger, maybe a soda bottle cut in half, or a bigger box, or even your peanut butter jar. Just make sure when you half it up here, you're going to put some holes in the bottom so that the extra water can get out. And then you're just going to put that straight on your tray so that it can get an extra drink later. Hey, let's see how my plants are doing. These are the ones that I planted right at the beginning of quarantine. Got some tomatoes and chives and some peppers. Now these are pretty beautiful. I'm getting really excited. Looks like my tomatoes probably need to go outside or get a bigger pot. I'd love to see what you do. So why don't you comment below or share us with pictures on Instagram. You can find Nashville Public Library at now@NPL. And the rest of the NPL universe is going to provide even more fun. So watch this channel. Next Thursday, we'll be back. Happy gardening.
The following video discusses the importance of being safe when talking to people you don't know online. Thanks for watching and be safe.
Earth to Georgie. Who are you texting?
Just Alex.
Hey, Georgie. I'm Lisa.
Oh,
How are you?
I'm good. Where's Jay and everyone else?
Oh, she's at the house. She just told me to come and get you.
Shoot, I think I left my phone at the park.
You did?
Yeah,
Oh, no.
could we go back?
Oh, you won't need it. I'll call somebody to come get your phone. Don't worry about it.
I'd feel better if we just, like, maybe you could drop me off.
I'm running late, so nah, we'll be back.
You'll first need to open up and create a new document, making it 11 by 8.5 and making it a landscape. Once you have done this, you need to go to your work files and go ahead and select the work file with the portrait in it. You drag and you drop it into your Photoshop and then go ahead and adjust it so that it fills up the entire canvas. Once you have done this, you hit enter and then you rasterize your image by clicking to the left of the actual image in the layers panel. Once you have done this, you'll want to go ahead and select the magic wand tool or use W as a shortcut key. Click the background and start hitting delete. You want to eliminate as much of the background as possible, but remember that it doesn't have to be perfect for the workshop that we're doing today. Once you've selected as much as you can with the magic wand tool, you may want to go back with your eraser tool and go ahead and erase some of the missing pieces that you could not select. Remembering that it doesn't have to be perfect, but it is nice to have the background cleaned up as much as possible. Next, you want to select your other work file, the one that you're going to merge with your portrait file. Go ahead and shape this and expand it the way you want to. But first, lower the opacity. Lowering the opacity helps you see where it's going to line up on your other image. So go ahead and expand your image so that it fills up and covers most of your second image. Once you've aligned your image, go ahead and turn the opacity back up to 100% and hit enter. Then click right of the image on the layers panel and rasterize. And go ahead and go back down to your effects and select lighten. Next, you want to go down to the bottom of your layers panel and select the opacity mask, making sure that you have the layer with the tree on it selected before you do so. Once you've selected the layer mask onto that image, you can then select the paintbrush or the B for brush tool, making sure that your paint colors are set to black and white, which will add or subtract from your image. Also, using the shortcut key X, you can toggle between the black and the white, which will add or subtract from your image, so that you can refine it to be the way you think it looks best when combined together. Once you are satisfied with your image, you will want to make one last layer. On this last layer, you'll want to use the gradient tool, or G for shortcut. Select the gradient tool and a color of choice. Click the top left corner of your workspace and drag the point to the bottom corner of your workspace. The gradient should fill your entire workspace. Back to the layer panel, make sure that your gradient layer is highlighted and go to Effects and select Lighten. You will now want to merge all your layers together. By starting with the gradient layer, you can right-click and scroll down to Merge Layer. Continue to do this till all your layers are combined into one layer. Once all the layers have been merged together, you can then select and expand your final image to fill your canvas to the size you think you best use. Remember, Command T is the shortcut to transform your image. Once you have completed this workshop, you'll want to save your work. You want to save one as a Photoshop document and one as a JPEG document. By right-clicking File Save or hitting Command S, you can then bring up the Save menu. Make sure you're saving to the correct folder and make sure you're saving it as the correct file type. Also, make sure you rename your final project so that you know how to locate it later.
Hey everyone, this is Seth. I'm a mentor at Studio NPL, and I'm currently working on a series of videos about how to record and publish your own podcast at home using free tools and things you probably already have in your house. The first video I made in this series was about different types of microphones, recording techniques, and editing software you can use, but it's a little difficult to record a podcast all by yourself. So in this video, I'll be talking about ways that you can record a podcast with friends even though everybody's practicing social distancing right now. The best way to do this is probably ways you're already using it to talk to your friends right now, whether it's phone calls or video chats with things like Google Hangouts, Zoom, and Skype. The only problem is that you have to find a way to be able to record this audio and so that you can edit it and publish it for other people to hear. The best way to get the recordings of each speaker on your podcast is to have each of them record their own audio at home and then send that all to whoever is going to be editing the podcast. Though it gives you the best quality, it's also the most complex though, because it requires everybody to not only have the equipment to record at home, but to be pretty knowledgeable in how to use that and everything. And also it makes it more complex because you have to record while you do your video call as well. So there's just more steps to it. And it also opens up kind of more doors for technical difficulties, or, maybe somebody didn't press record or somebody recorded with the wrong microphone. But it'll give you the best results because it allows your editor to use the noise effect tool I showed you in Audacity last time. If you choose to go this way where everyone records independently, then once you finish your recording and everything, you can export it as an MP3 file, a WAV file, however you want to do it, and you can send it to your editor using cloud storage like Google Drive or Dropbox, or even transfer services like WeTransfer. Though this is the way used by a lot of podcasters and will give you the most reliable audio quality, it also opens up the doors for a lot of technical difficulties, and it just makes it more complex. So there are a couple other ways that simplify this a little bit. So to simplify this, you can use a couple different tools to make it where only one person has to record everything, instead of everybody having to be recording their own audio. Video chat services like Zoom usually give you an opportunity to record your calls. Zoom will do this, and Zoom's a great video chat service. It actually, whenever you record them, gives you an audio file for each of your individual speakers, which is very nice for editing and being able to, edit out things or maybe clarify each of the speakers' microphone feed. But one technique Zoom uses to actually make their video calls more seamless and have less lag is that they compress their audio quality, so you wouldn't be getting the same as everybody recording their own microphones at home. Another tool you can use is Google Voice. Google Voice is a telephone number service that Google makes, where through your own Google account you can make a telephone number and use it like a regular telephone, and there are actually settings to record all of your incoming calls coming to that Google Voice number. The only issue is that it does give it that telephone texture and compresses it like an actual telephone. One solution I did find when researching for this video is a professional podcasting tool called Zencastr, which actually allows everybody to record over the internet and apparently records studio quality without any kind of digital compression of video chats or phone calls. Normally this is a paid service with pretty strict limitations on their free accounts, but while everyone's practicing social distancing, they've actually lowered a lot of the limits on their free accounts. You can have unlimited guests and unlimited recording time per month, and it will record a local audio file for each of those people and send it to whoever's editing the podcast. So this is a free tool that I'd recommend checking out. So I've talked a little bit about some pros and cons of different ways of recording podcasts with friends during social distancing, but I want to talk about one more tip that applies to both methods of recording, and that tip is to use headphones whenever you record. Using headphones is pretty important because it allows each speaker's audio to be isolated and not bleeding over into somebody else's microphone recording, so it makes it more pleasant to listen to and a lot easier to edit. So as I said in the last video, if your recording solution records everything onto a single audio track, there's not a whole lot of editing you can do outside of what I showed you last time, using noise cancellation and basic cutting out different parts and kind of stitching things together if there's an or a big long silence or anything like that that you want to cut out. But if you record things using multiple audio tracks, there's a little bit more editing you can do, and I have Audacity pulled up right here to show you some of that. This file that I've pulled up right here is actually, these are two of me just recording for a sample recording. As you can see, I left some time here at the beginning of each audio track for the editor to go in and cancel out the room noise using that noise cancellation feature I showed last time. But another thing that I have that is a really great tip if you're recording multiple audio tracks is this section right here. What this is a trick that some people use to synchronize their audio files. So each of these dots is actually supposed to be somebody saying a number. So this method is each speaker, they are counting to 5 together and bouncing back and forth with each number. So speaker 1 says 1, speaker 2 says 2, then 3, 4, and 5. The only problem is that they're not in sync right now because they started recording at different times, but this allows your editor to go in and time them up so it should sound like a natural conversation. So use the time shift tool up here and you just drag it so that what is supposed to be the first speaker saying the number 3 falls right in between speaker 2 saying 2 and 4 right there. So that's one way to retime everything. So now that these clips are synchronized like that, I'll show you one more edit in addition to all the other ones I showed you in the last video, and this is ways of retiming different audio tracks whenever you have multiple speakers. So with Audacity, obviously you can kind of use the selection tool to grab things and delete them, but that just drags things backward in time instead of letting you drag them and move them independently. So I'm gonna undo that. And a way that you can make speaker 1 and speaker 2 not talk over each other right here is that you can actually split this clip and then drag this further down. Now, this error in this one is just made because I recorded both of these sample recordings and it's not actually a conversation with another person. I just made it for this demonstration, but things like that happen with if you're using a digital calling service. Sometimes there'll be lag that comes in there that gets in the way, or just naturally talking over each other. So one thing you can do is that you can retime it by using the split tool in Audacity. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna click a part right here where I wanna split it so that I can make everything on the other side of that line a new clip, and I can drag this down to retime it. So this tool is under the edit menu. It's gonna be under clip boundaries and it's called split. Right here you see the shortcut to do it if you're gonna be using this a lot is Command I on Mac. On PC that's gonna be Control I. So just click that and you see a thick black line right there, and that indicates that you can actually move the second part of that clip using the time shift tool up here, just like earlier. Just move that. So that's a more intense edit for editing together multiple podcast files if you record independently like that, but it helps your podcast sound a little bit more natural in the conversation, even though you're using some tools that sometimes make conversations a little awkward. That's about it for this video. I'll have a list pop up at the very end of all the different tools that I used and mentioned during this so that you can go and research them on your own and find which one fits you best. The next video I make in this series will be about how to publish your podcast so that you can share it with all your friends. Thanks for watching.
Hi, welcome to Studio NPL's Film Challenge. Okay, so the rules remain the same. Your film must be less than 2 minutes long and it must be family friendly. That means no R-rated. You're going to email me your film at studionplnashville@gmail.com by 5 p.m. on Monday. Okay, here is this week's film challenge. One thing we want to include is a graphic match. That's part of the image category this week. And the graphic match is a way to connect two shots by having similar compositions in each. So, for an example, you could have a shot of the sun in the center of the frame and move to a baseball the same size as the sun in the same spot of the composition. Okay, we also want to make sure we include sound. So, the sound portion. There are sound characters can hear and there are sounds characters can't hear. Sounds characters can hear, like a glass breaking or a truck's horn honking. These are called diegetic sounds. Okay, there are sounds characters can't hear. These are non-diegetic sounds. And they are things like narrators or music that's going on to tell the character that something bad's about to happen around the corner. Make sure you use one of each of these sounds in your film. And now, the story. Here's this week's Film Challenge story. Someone in your house is not who they seem to be. Okay, now here's a couple tips. Just something to think about when you're making your movie. You want to think about the ticking clock. That is one of the most common ways that filmmakers use to drive the story forward. Somewhere where we have to be in Nashville by Tuesday. We have 20 minutes until the bomb goes off. Make sure we get back by midnight or our coach turns into a pumpkin. Adding these sorts of deadlines can make it easy for the audience to understand the urgency of your character's problems. So maybe try putting a ticking clock somewhere in your film. Okay, Good luck. Don't forget to send your film to Studio NPL Nashville at gmail.com. I need to have it by Monday, 5 p.m. Thanks for joining me at Studio NPL.